Major objective of this chapter is will be learning the meaning and definition of a language, different elements of a language, understanding sentence and conversations, and different stages involved in a language. Also, the theories of language development. When I went through this chapter, I felt like more of an English class rather than psychology class. So I think you'll also feel the same. So, the meaning and definition of a language, when we hear the term language, the first thing is the first thing comes into mind is communication. So, people use language to communicate. Also, the language is said to be communicatable only when others understand meaning of our sentence and we in turn understand theirs. A person who only knows Spanish and person who only knows German could not communicate. It will be very difficult for them to communicate. So both should be knowing the language which they speak. And also, we have many other gestures, non-verbal gestures to communicate. But in this section, we'll be predominantly focusing on the spoken communication. So, what is a language? The written language is a sequence of symbols or combined in an orderly fashion. Symbols is nothing but the letters. In English, it's alphabets, and the Tamil has many letters. So, it's basically a sequence of random symbols. Random symbols means we don't have any uh, justification like why we use these symbols. It's all done randomly. These symbols convey meaning and follow some certain conventions. So when we speak in a language, we have been speaking a language for so many years. We already have an inbuilt rules. I mean, underlying knowledge and rules, which is in our subconscious mind. So we subconsciously we gather all those things when we try to communicate. So this represents the linguistic competence of a language. So, how much competent we are in a language defines how long we are speaking that language. That is also an impact that will have an impact on a linguistic competence. Linguistic competence seems to be a universal human species. It's a typical ability of a human species. This linguistic competence. This comprises of many factors. Among them, five areas of linguistic competence are much to be noted, which we'll see. Five areas of linguistic competence. First, uh, we can tell ourselves we are linguistic competence in Tamil or English or whatever language we know by understanding but the sounds or written elements of a language and rules for combining these basic elements into units, such as words that have the meaning. Second, we have knowledge of grammar or syntax and rules of that language. Rules of that language means to frame a sentence, we need to know which noun should come at the beginning or the verb should come, something like that. That can be considered as a rules. Third, along with the grammar rules, we have stored in long-term semantic memory the meanings of 1,000 words. So we have, since we have speaking the language for so many years, we have unknowingly we have stored the meanings of thousands of words in our semantic memory. Fourth, we know how to use speech in order to have an intended impact on others. So, intended impact means in order to make someone do an action or requesting someone, so we know how to use the speech. Then we have knowledge of the rules for processing and interpreting the speech of other people. So, when we have these five areas, we are strong in five areas, then we can consider ourselves linguistic competent in a language. So, linguistic and psycholinguistics. Linguistics is nothing but the study of language as a structured system of rules, and also it studies about the origin of language and when Tamil would have been originated, something like that. Study of that kind, And relationship among languages. We have seen in some articles like Tamil and Korea has many similar words. So we will try to understand the linguistic study tries to understand the relationship between the languages, people would have traveled from here to there, so the words would have been similar, something like that. And how languages changed over time since the monarchy time and the British time until now. We have seen how our Tamil language has changed, and now we are speaking a very colloquial language. Earlier that used to be a very pure form of Tamil, we could say. And then the nature of language sounds have also changed. So all these are studied by the linguistics uh, category. So, psycholinguistics is concerned with how people use linguistic competence to generate and understand language. In other words, the field of psycholinguistics is concerned with behavior of using a language, and conversely, how behavior is influenced by the language. So, something related to the language, relationship between language and the human is the study of psycholinguistics. Six basic elements of language.
We actually see your third slide only still.
Is it?
Yeah.
Uh, Stop sharing and share. So you were,
Yes, it's visible now. Fourth
yeah,
slide. Yeah.
okay, yeah, thanks. So this one I went through linguistic competence. That is, you know, got already. It's a competence of how competent we are in a language, how fluent and how grammatically we use a language intact. That is referred to as linguistic competence. And the five areas of linguistic components, told, sounds and the words, how we can put together the sounds to form the words. And we have the knowledge of grammar and syntax, and also the long term semantic memory, which stores the meanings of thousands of words. And fourth, we know how to use speech in order to have the impact on others. And fifth, we have knowledge of rules processing and interpreting the speech of other people. These are the five main areas of linguistic competence. So, linguistics is a study of language and the origin of language and the relationship among languages, how languages changed over time, and nature of sounds, language sounds. Psycholinguistics is concerned with the language and the relationship between language and humans. We can consider how people are using the language and how language influences people. So we could see the behavior with English people and behavior with Hindi speaking people. I don't know really the language has the impact, but maybe it could be. That is called psycholinguistics. So a language has six basic elements. So it's the first one is phonemes, syllables, morphemes, words, clauses, and sentences. Okay. We see phones and phonemes. Phone is linguistics refers to a speech sound that is produced by the vocal cords. That is the basic building block of a spoken language. It could be considered as uh, just a sound. If we say banana, so the ba sound, that could be considered as a simple phones. A phoneme is a set of similar speech sounds that are perceptually regarded by the speakers of a language as a single basic sound. We have a lot of similarly sounding letters like the P and B. T and D. So these sound similar. So when we are on a phone and we are conveying our name, so we used to tell our names with, for example, my name D. Someone could interpret as T. So I say D as in Denmark, and I as in India. Something like that. We used to tell if we are on a phone, so that they don't write my name wrong. So this is called phonemes. So we could see the examples like pat, bat, that could sound similar when we are speaking in a hurry. So but, bud. So these are called phonemes. Syllable. Syllable is a unit of sound. It could be considered as a stress, where we while we speaking in a word, where we stress much, something like that. Most specifically, it is a single segment of uninterrupted sound that is typically produced with a single pulse of air from the lungs. So we say banana, so we have ba, that is and yan na, that is one syllable. So that is called a syllable. Syllable can have more than one letter. However, a syllable cannot have more than one sound. Okay, a syllable can have one letter. We can consider we have a single letter, like in Tamil we have T. That will be as a fire. So that will be like just having one letter and can have more than one sound. There are two types of syllables. Open syllable. Open syllable is a syllable that has only one vowel or only one vowel sound. The single vowel in the open syllable occurs at the end of the word. Though the vowel doesn't actually exist at the end, even the vowel sound is also considered as a open syllable. So, for example, try. Try doesn't have any vowel, but the I sound is coming at the end. That is the within the Y. So the I sound is coming. So this is an open syllable. Then we have the closed syllable. Closed syllable is a syllable that has only one vowel or only one vowel sound but ends in a consonant. Consonant is nothing but anything other than vowel is a consonant. So here we have one vowel but it ends with a consonant. It's a clock and ask and trim. So this is a closed syllable word. So we have the stress at the end only, clock, ask, trim, like that. Sorry. So the next is morphemes, words, clauses, and sentence. These are the remaining four elements of the language. Morphemes are the smallest units of meaning in a language and can't be divided further. That are called morphemes. So if we take dog, even if we separate, we won't be having any meaningful language. Happy, run, book, etc. Instead of that, if we have a word called football, when we separate foot and ball, we have a separate meaning. So these are called the basic unit, smallest unit, which have a meaning, but when it's divided, it doesn't have a meaning. So that is called morphemes. Words are sounds or symbols that helps us communicate meanings using one or more morphemes. Words we usually know, like we combine the letters and make a meaningful word. So that is self understood. So words are combined by the rules of grammar into clauses, and clauses are formed into sentence. So clause consists of a verb and its associated nouns, adjectives, and so on. A verb, like it's an action, an associated noun is a name of a person or a place, anything, an object is associate, that is called a nouns. And adjectives can be a description of the noun, how the object is, it's the texture of the object, color of the object. Explain through the adjective. So these the combination of everything
Divya,
will
your voice
form the
is breaking.
clauses.
Yeah, your voice is
So
breaking.
when we have more than one clause, it is called a sentence. So when we hear something from others, we tend to isolate
There's a disturbance in your voice.
clause,
Divya. Divya, can you hear me?
analyze the meaning
Hello, Divya?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear
within
me?
the sentence.
Ashok, can you hear me?
That is what we interpret
I can hear you.
Hello?
the
Hello?
Hello?
instruction
Ashok,
from
can you hear me?
others.
Yes, Carolyn, I can hear you.
Yeah, why she
Your
couldn't hear
voice is
me?
breaking.
Yeah, voice is breaking. There's a disturbance.
Linguistics has proposed a number of
She
theories
couldn't
of
hear us.
grammar, and one of the theory is the
Uh,
transformational grammar. Okay, is it just now? Hello.
No. Last 5 minutes. For the past
Yeah.
5 minutes, it was like that.
Am I audible?
No,
Yeah.
no. Some network issue, I guess.
Okay, I'm not sure. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but there's a disturbance in your voice and it's not very clear.
Hello.
Audible now.
I could
Speaking again.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me
Hello?
now? Is it okay?
Yeah, now it's
Hello.
okay, but your voice is breaking in between.
Not sure what is the problem. Let me try with my headset. Hello all, can you hear me now?
Yes, you are audible. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I'm not sure. I left and joined again. Share my
Surya,
screen.
can you switch off your video?
I thought it's me. Okay. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you are good with slide 10, or I need to go through it again?
Yeah, you can go through once again.
Okay. So these are the remaining. Already we saw the previous 5 elements, the phones and syllables, and these are the remaining 4 elements of the language: morphemes, words, clauses, and sentences. Morphemes are basically a smallest unit of meaning in a language that can't be divided further. Once we divide, we don't get any meaning. Those are called morphemes. So we have an example of dog, happy, run, book, etc., which we further divide, we won't be getting any meaningful word. So in contrast to morphemes, we have football. What else we can consider? So something like that, where we separate the break the word, we have a meaning. Foot has a meaning and ball has a meaning. So those are called morphemes. It's the smallest meaningful word in a language. Words are sounds or symbols that helps us to communicate meanings using one or more morphemes. So words we usually know, like it's a combination of letters or morphemes, which gives us a meaningful uh, something meaningful. So words are combined by the rules of grammar into clauses, and clauses are formed into sentences. A clause consists of a verb and associated nouns, adjectives, and so on. A clause consists of a verb, that is an action, and associated nouns, that is an object, a person, or a place. And adjectives is the description of the noun, like the texture or how the place looks, and how what the color of an object, something like that describes the objective. So this is the rules of a grammar. When we hear a sentence with more than one clause, we as a human brain tends to separate the clauses in a sentence, and we process each clause one after the other. So these are the 6 elements of the language. So grammar and meaning. Linguistic has proposed a number of theories of grammar. The theory of transformational grammar is one of the best known and most influential. In this theory, it proposes two kinds of structure are used in a um, framing a sentence, or framing a sentence. So that could be a deep structure and a phrase structure. Deep structure refers to underlying meaning of a sentence as it is represented and comprehended in a brain. So when we see a boy kicking the ball, so when we try to say that, we don't think of grammar and all. At that time we say the ball was kicked by the boy, or the boy kicked the ball, or in whatever form in which someone could understand, we could say that. That is called a deep structure sentence. A phrase structure sentence consists of an set of ordered rules and rewrite rules which are applied stepwise. So, an English sentence typically consists of a noun phrase followed by a verb phrase. So, this the earlier example also has a typically a noun. I mean, it has the noun phrase followed by the verb phrase only, but still we could convey it in any way. That is a deep structure. A phase structure is you follows the typical grammatical structure. That is, my sister bought a car. That could be told as the car was bought by my sister, something like that. But these are the two different structures of a sentence, of formation of a sentence. Meanings of words and concepts. The study of word and concept meaning is known as semantics. Semantics is basically the understanding the word and the concept behind a sentence. Without some agreement on what words and concept mean, communication would be impossible. So we in any language we have an already agreed set of semantics that is known to everyone. That is the way we understand the communication on a particular language. One approach might be to agree to use only the dictionary definition of words. Another way would be the concept meanings are represented in our mental dictionaries. For example, sorry, considering the word chicken, uh, when we say the word chicken, the below factors comes to our mind. This will be in our mental dictionaries. The chicken is a living creature. It's a bird. It has feathers. That it tastes good when we eat. So these kinds of things are also there in our mental dictionaries. So this is the concept, understanding the concept and words in our semantic memory. This collection of features is one way we have of mentally representing the meaning of the word chicken. So we have when we take a word, we have a one approach is to use the dictionary defined format and this mentally defined format. That is what they are trying to explain here. So the next comes the pragmatics. The word pragma implies action in Greek. It means whatever we speak, if it is having an impact on others, it's known as a pragmatic language. Just as rules govern the combination of words into grammatical sentences, there are rules that members of a language community implicitly understand about how to use language socially in interpersonal relationships. We have certain rules and grammars and syntax for any language. Apart from that, we have certain uh, rules so that we maintain an interpersonal relationship among others, social and interpersonal relationship. So certain factors like situation, mood, influence these speeches. It influences automatically and unconsciously most of the time. And for so these are the factors. I mean. Scenarios that need to be taken into consideration for pragmatics. So context and situation. When we have a meeting and one person comes on time, they were addressing about one person and they tells like John was on time yesterday. This could be sarcastic sentence also because he it could imply he would come late every day, but he had come on time yesterday. Without the context and situation, we can't understand whether the sentence was told sarcastically or it is an I mean recognition of his punctuality or something like that. So context and situation decides the tone of the sentence. Then we have the status. So when we usually address the any person of any profession, so we usually call them a professor, doctor, or an teacher. Usually we address by that way. But if the person is very well known to us, we usually they are very a family friend or a family member, so we address them with the name or whichever way we are convenient. So that also impacts our way of speaking. And conversation rules. So when we are requesting a help in a public place, like if we are in a bus and we want to get the tickets, so please pass the change, we request them. So this is the conversation rules. There are many conversation rules, like how to behave in a public place, and how to behave in a crowded gathering, or a public gathering, or something like that. There are conversation rules. These are called the pragmatics, which have impact on others. So then we come to the development of language. Development of language is, as a kid, once we are born, we slowly try to communicate through gestures and to sounds, and then we try to speak at the age of one or so, and then we slowly learn the language. So that is what is uh, given here. Through the first weeks of life, infants have only one major means of verbal communication, that is crying. Then, after a few short years, children progressively rapidly speaking whole sentence and acquire a vocabulary of hundreds or even thousands of words. So they have given the milestones of how the child communicates. So average in 12 weeks, the kid infant smiles when talked to, making cooing sounds. This cooing sounds we have seen in our sim one. And then at 16 weeks, it turns its head and responds to human voice. At 20th week, it makes vowels. Vowels, it doesn't know it's a vowel, it just makes an e, something, those kind of sounds while cooing. So 6 months
So Divya,
progresses
again your voice
from
is breaking.
cooing to babbling, that contains
Hello.
all sounds of human pain,
Divya, again your
human
voice is
speech.
breaking.
Something, it's not a proper word, it's something it tries to Can you hear me now clearly?
Yes, you are audible now.
Sorry, I'm not sure what's the problem. You're seeing my screen?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay. Okay. So we were at 8th month. So the 8th month, the kid repeats certain syllables, and at 12 months, it started to say some words, a single word. And then 24 months, its vocabulary of more than 50 words uses some two-word phrases. And 30 months, as vocabulary of several hundred words, uses phrases of 3 to 5 words. And at 36 months, as vocabulary of about 1,000 words. And 48 months has mastered most basic elements of a language. So this is the milestone of language development since birth. So we have different theories of language development. The first one is social learning view. This suggests this mostly the language, how the kid learns a language is by operant conditioning and imitation. So it sees the parents or the whoever is at home speaking to the kid. It observes that, and also the operant condition, like once it gets some nice food or something like that, when the mother tells the kid to repeat a word, so it's a kind of operant conditioning. So this theory suggests this could be the reason for the language development. And innate mechanism view proposed by Noam Chomsky 1968 suggested that language acquisition is at least partly innate. Partly innate in the sense we have an inbuilt tendency to grasp grammar and languages. Our neural system is built in such a way. Finally, cognitive theory offered by Slobin 1979 recognizes the importance of both innate mechanism and learning. So both go hand in hand, and then which helps facilitates in the language development. This theory suggests that children possess certain information processing abilities inbuilt, and the strategies also which they use in acquiring the language, that is a learning or repeating something again and again. So this also aids in the language development. So with this we are concluding this chapter. So do you have any questions? Hello. Okay, thank you all for your time. Thank you. We'll
Yeah,
make another
thanks,
session.
Divya. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.